candidly, look, at this point in my life, the last thing that I think I need is to be the governor of New York. I mean, just stating it very, very candidly. But I do feel a sense of calling to it for several reasons. First of which is a feeling that in the Empire State we're not hitting our potential, and there is so much more that I think that could be done to see us grow in the manner that we know that we can. Also, the corruption in Albany. I think there's a real need for leadership that can unite, can rally our state, and to really restore faith in our ability to be self-governing. You know, after 29 years in uniform, I believe that the approaches that I would take would be more effective than those of the approach that Cuomo takes. I'll say one last thing on this, and then I'll yield. To give an illustration of the contrast, one of the points that the governor said is, well, we need legislators to really curtail their outside income. That's one way we can address corruption. Well, that's certainly something we can put on the table and we can discuss and we can look at the details. I'm all in for that conversation. It's just hard to take from a gentleman who took a $700,000 check as an advance for a book. Where I grew up professionally in the military, you lead by example. No infantry leader has ever been successful by telling his troops to take a hill. You get out front and say, we're going to the hill, follow me. So it's, that's not the kind of leadership I think that will change. This is not surprising to me that he has said that he's going to change Albany, but he hasn't.
Chris has every right to run for governor. I sort of wish he'd stay in the House where we're doing good bipartisan work together. I do not believe he will win that race, and I do not believe he should win that race. I don't believe a lot of the things that he just said are fair assessments of the governor's record, who has imposed a property tax cap of 2%, which is part of the solution, who has brought marriage equality to the state, which is an issue of tremendous importance, took real guts to do. I don't think the governor gets nearly enough credit for the work he's done upstate. If you look at the money being invested in Buffalo and other regions, if you look at the regional economic development councils and the good work they're doing, if you look at the way we've emerged from the recession, I think the governor has been a very strong advocate for economic growth and resurgence in New York, and I do not believe that there's a path, and I do not believe there's a rationale for what Chris is talking about. If you're talking about the concerns of people in the 5 boroughs, if you're talking about the extraordinary diversity in the state, people who care about a woman's right to choose, people who care about progressive issues and on all sorts of social issues, I just don't think it makes sense, and I think it's a shame, because I think my friend Chris is going to spend the next year running around the state trying to raise money when he and I could be fighting Lyme disease and building infrastructure locally. But he's got every right to right to do it, and I don't know what a good man like him's doing in a business like this to begin with. But I don't think this is gonna be the right next move for you. I say that with respect and as a friend.
Thank you.